$200 raise for Social Security in 2024. I have all the details and exactly what you need to know right here in the video, so let's get right into it. I know in this video, I do want to focus on the infamous $200 per month raise for millions upon millions of Social Security beneficiaries that we've heard about so many times over the last couple years. Now, I do also want to focus on some questions and some concerns that I've seen down below in the comments section on previous videos right here on the channel, where some of you here in the community have been reaching out to me asking for further clarification on this and when we can expect to see the extra $200 hitting our accounts. These are some great questions. Let's get into it right away. Really fast before we do, thanks so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe right down below the video. There's that big old button waiting for you down there. Make sure to hit that if you have not done so yet, as I'm here for you right by your side every single day, watching all the changes, all the announcements, and everything else coming out right now that may impact you, your money, your benefits, your lifestyle, your bank account, and of course anything popping up right now you can possibly grab and or take advantage of. As we all know, 2024 is going to be a very, very busy year, considering it is an election year and a lot of things are going to be changing. And again, I want to point out all the details as this information is hitting the wire, and of course coming back and focusing on your questions, your concerns, and doing whatever I can to advocate and keep you informed of what's going on right now during this very busy time. So again, thanks for joining me. Please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and let's get into it and talk about the infamous $200 per month raise, where we currently stand, what is going on with this thing, and again, like I said, answering those questions that I've seen from those of you right here in the community down below in the comments section. All right. 2024, wow. First off, can you believe it? Here we are, right? I mean, this is nuts. This time has gone by so fast, as in the last several years here, right? It just seems like it was just like 2020, not that long ago, right? And here we are already, right? So yeah, time is zipping right on by. But anyway, I want to point out the details for you here because this is very important and something many, many millions of beneficiaries are relying on and hoping that this is going to go into effect sometime soon, because we've been hearing about this for so many years. In fact, the first time that we heard about a potential $200 per month raise was actually back in March of 2020. Do you remember that? There was a small group of small handful of Democratic senators that came out and introduced this. Obviously, it never happened, but that was the first time that we heard about it. Now here we are a few years later, and we're still talking about this because this continues to be introduced, and this is one of those pieces of legislation out of Bernie Sanders and a variety of other Democratic senators who really, really want to get this done. This is something that's very important to Bernie Sanders. He's talked about it many times, and it's still out there as well. So remember, this is represented as the Social Security Expansion Act. That is the piece of legislation that encompasses the $200 per month raise as well for beneficiaries. Now, I want to make it very clear. As of right now, no, it has not passed through Congress yet. However, let's focus on 2024 for a second here, because remember, they've got to do some magical things here, okay? 2024 is going to be a year of either make it or break it type of situations, because all of these lawmakers need to get something done. They need to prove to us, the people, that they are working in our best interest. Have they been doing that for the last few years? Well, that's for anybody to decide here. That's, your own personal opinion, but I think we can all probably realize, considering what's been going on here, have they really been doing their best to help the American people as much as possible? Yeah, I'm not sure about that, right? I think we all know the last few years have been absolutely brutal for the low-income and fixed-income beneficiaries. They've talked about a lot of different things, but have they followed through with anything? Yeah, no. The answer is no, okay? We all know that. They've done nothing, and not a whole lot of anything other than talking, right? So anyway, as a result of that, 2024 is going to be incredibly important because, remember, they've got to get some stuff done here. Does that mean for sure they're going to get anything done? No, it doesn't mean anything is going to be guaranteed, right? Nothing is going to be guaranteed for them to actually do. However, is it important for them to do something? Yeah, it's very, very important for basically all lawmakers, because it doesn't matter which side of the aisle we're talking about, doesn't matter who we're talking about. As you can see here, I'm not taking political sides. I'm just simply saying they've all got to do something. They all need to come here and show us that they're working on in our best interest rather than their best interest, which is typically what they always do, right? Anyway, as a result of that, again, I've been seeing a lot of questions down below asking, is it coming in 2024? When are we going to be seeing the extra $200 hitting our accounts? When can I expect it to see it added to my checks? All kinds of stuff like this. As of right now, it's not added. As of right now, it's not passed in Congress, okay? So I wish I could say, yeah, it's been passed and it's going to be coming next week or next month or whatever. Unfortunately, that's not the case right now. But Is this possibly going to get passed in 2024? Now, again, I don't want to sit here and say, yes, there's a 97% chance it's going to get passed in 2024. I don't know that. Nobody knows that. Lawmakers don't even know that, the likelihood of that being passed. However, is there a chance that they possibly bring this up yet again and they do their best to actually get this passed through Congress and actually get this implemented sometime sooner than later? I wouldn't be shocked one bit to see this coming up yet again, because this is going to be a major talking point for politicians, right? Do you think it's going to be a major talking point? They recognize just as much as we do. Those people that receive a fixed income benefit represent 70 plus million people across the country. It's a huge percentage of our population. They know that this group of people encompasses a huge percentage of the voting bloc in this country. And they also recognize these individuals who are fixed income beneficiaries receiving benefits from Social Security also turn out and vote in major, major numbers. Do you think that's going to play a role in the psychology of going into the election season here? What's going on with what they say, with what they introduce, how they slam the other side? You know how they always do that? It's always a bunch of finger pointing. They never look in the mirror and say, hey, what are we doing? It's always about what they're not doing. You ever heard that? Yeah, of course you have, because you see all the ads and stuff about it, right? So again, like I've said before in other videos, apparently all these people maybe possibly don't own a mirror, because if they did, they'd possibly look in it sometimes and say, hey, maybe I'm the problem. Maybe it's not them. Maybe we should be doing something rather than pointing the finger at them, right? So again, that's what they should do, is probably invest in a mirror so they can see who is probably the problem rather than pointing the finger all the time at everybody else. Now again, kind of goes across everybody. But when it comes down to it, this is something that's very important. Like I said before in the videos, the Social Security Expansion Act is something that was introduced by Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, and a few other Democratic senators. They've come forward with this. This would implement a $200 per month raise to beneficiaries for about 75 years. I'm pretty sure we would all be pretty good by that, right? Basically out until the end of the century is what would happen with this, okay? Now, obviously, there's other changes in there as well, like raising taxes, changing the COLA from the CPIW to the CPIE. There's also, raising taxes in higher income individuals. I don't think that pertains to anybody here in this community, but maybe it does. But again, it's very high income people. But there's some other changes in there as well. But again, the hallmark of this whole thing is the $200 per month raise to beneficiaries, okay? So again, I see a lot of questions on this topic, a lot down below in the comment section. I like to come back every so often and give you an update as far as what's going on here. I would not be shocked one bit to see this thing being announced again, and I wouldn't be shocked at all to see some votes coming in on this thing. The reason for that is, like we've seen before in Congress before with other lawmakers, they hold votes on this stuff, not because they think it's going to pass or whatever they want with it, but they hold votes on it to put lawmakers on record, okay? That's why they do it. Have you seen that before with other bills, packages, and proposals? We've seen that, and we know that Bernie Sanders has come out and said this before with other pieces of legislation. He always comes out and says something along the lines of, let's vote. Let's put them on the record, right? Then we can all clearly see who voted for it and who voted against it, right? So again, not a bad strategy, but again, this is what they're talking about, and something we need to certainly watch here going forward. Now, obviously, like I said a minute ago, I wish I had better information. I wish that I could come out here right now today and say, yeah, they passed it and it's going to be implemented next month or in 3 months or, retroactive back till, a couple months ago or whatever the situation has to be. I wish I could say that, but as of right now, that is not the case. And again, I've always said before in other videos, I will always bring you honest, accurate, reliable, and transparent information every single day in these videos, even if it is things that some of us don't want to hear. I want to be here for you, breaking it all down and letting you know what's actually going on. So as of right now, this is still one of those that's on the table. However, I want to point this out really quickly. Of all the pieces of legislation out there, there's a lot of them. There's a ton of them. In fact, you've heard me talk about them over the last year and a half, maybe 2 years now. We've been talking about a ton of these that have been introduced. I would say this is one of the very few out there that, in my honest opinion, I think this is one of the very few that actually has a likelihood of actually passing. There's a lot of them out there, and I've said it before in other videos. Most of the proposals that come out are garbage. Honestly, they are introduced and they should be thrown away immediately because they are not good whatsoever. I would say that with a lot of them. However, this is one of about 3, 4, maybe 5 proposals in total that I would say actually has some ground to stand on and actually does have a possibility of passing. Now, does that mean it's going to pass for sure? No, I'm just simply saying, out of all the pieces of legislation out there, this is one that actually looks pretty good. Honestly, there's a lot of things about it, but could it be changed as it goes through Congress? Yeah, of course. Most pieces of legislation do change, they do get amended, they do get adjusted as they work their way through the House and the Senate, and then possibly even signed into law by the president, things like that. So again, I want to bring you the details on this. I hope this helps you. And again, please don't get discouraged about this. It's going to be a crazy year. I can tell you that much already. I guarantee it. Every single time that we get to a presidential election, a midterm election, whatever it happens to be, just think of it. There's always all kinds of stuff that happens. A lot of things are mentioned, a lot of things are said, a lot of things are proposed. We just have to see what happens here. Again, so there's also some major economic situations going on right now as well, right? Which I've talked about before in the video. So anyway, long story short, we will continue watching this. I hope this gives you an idea of what's going on here. For realistically, in 2023, there was really no reason for them to pass this in 2023. It didn't really benefit the politicians. Now remember, do they work in their best interest or do they work in our best interest? They're generally working in their best interest, as in they do what they can to get approval from us so that they can keep a job, right? Otherwise, they lose their job. Do they want that? Probably not, right? So as a result of that, would it be more beneficial and advantageous for them to pass it in 2024 or 2023? It's way more advantageous in 2024 because that's when all of us will be hitting the polls later in the year, right? So kind of makes sense. Anyway, hope that makes sense for you. But again, I'm here for you in any way that I can be. Please make sure to subscribe down below. Again, for those of you that are leaving questions down below, I appreciate it. Thank you. Hope this answers it for you. And again, I will continue watching this very closely, as well as everything else going on out there in regards to Social Security, SSDI, survivors, SSI, VA, anything else like that, low income, programs, money, stimulus checks, anything else like that. Of course, I'll bring it to your attention immediately as we get that information. So again, please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share the video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out any of the other thousands of videos here on the channel. Until next time, enjoy your day. Thanks again. Truly do appreciate your support. Have a nice day. Stay warm out there. I think that's about appropriate to say this time of year, right? Anyway, enjoy. Have a good one, and catch you again later in the next